feel proud that we are celebrating 25th anniversary of our establishment, and with this we are initiating our first national HR seminar under the guidance of the leaders, our respected directors, sir, respected deputy directors, sir, our HOD ma'am, Dr. Ashima ma'am. So with this, I am going to have the third day, which is the last day of our HR session. And for that, we are having respected Mr. Abhishek Mishra, sir, who is the Chief Facilitator and Consultant at Vision of Wizards. So I would like to first of all invite our respected Head of the Department, Dr. Ashima Joshi ma'am, to please welcome our guest for today's session.
Yeah, ma'am, thank you so much. Namaskar and good morning. I, Dr. Ashima Joshi, on behalf of the entire fraternity of Prestige Institute of Management Devas, would like to welcome the distinguished guest and resource person of today's session, Mr. Abhishek Mishra, Chief Facilitator and Consultant, Vision of Wizards, dignitaries from Research Foundation of India, delegates and dear students, to the third and the last day of this virtual National Human Resource Management Seminar. Our institute tends to provide an ideal environment for transformational development, not only for students, but for our faculties too. And events like this is one step forward in this regard. Mr. Abhishek Mishra, being a success and life coach, has chosen an apt topic for today's session, that is best talent engagement strategies in the real world. As executives from around the world says that enhancing employee engagement is one of their top 5 global business strategies, as it has a potential to significantly affect employee retention, productivity, loyalty. Not only this, it is a key link to customer satisfaction and company's reputation too. Mr. Mishra, now I don't want to get in between your session, and I won't be speaking more about it. Once again, a hearty welcome from the Prestige family. Thank you so much. Welcome once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a welcoming words for our respected resource person of today's session. Now it's time to introduce our resource person to the audience of our seminar. So with this, I'm going to have a very small presentation of sir's profile, which is a very big profile. And then afterwards, all is going to be yours, sir. So let me have a brief introduction of yours, and then we will have the session. So as I said in the beginning, Mr. Abhishek Mishra, sir, he's a Chief Facilitator and Consultant at Vision of Wizards, a learning and a development professional with 22 years of experience in various sectors like hospitality, corporates, and education, handled versatile profiles like training, counseling, sales, customer service, operations, recruitment, and people development. He holds training certifications from one of the world's most renowned institutes like Dell Carnegie Training, Citigroup Global Services, Aditya Birla Group, and Radisson Hotel Group. He is also a certified NLP practitioner and an international certified career coach, having conducted intense workshops and trained more than 1,000 professionals and students. His versatile experience qualifies him to not only relate to his participant, but also help them reach their untapped potential, creating a sense of high self-esteem and independence in each of one of them. His expertise is also extended in the field of counseling, thus helping him to give attention to every individual's developmental needs. His mission is to inspire and empower people in discovering their own strengths, reaching their potential, and living a life of their dreams, thus making a difference in human lives. This is really wonderful, sir. So thank you so much from my end. And again, on behalf of whole Prestige fraternity, I invite you, I welcome you, and now giving you all the mic is yours. So as ma'am very well said, we are not going to take much time of yours, and you can have your session now. We are really blessed and eager to listen to you from you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Joshi and Anjali ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank Research Foundation of India and Prestige Institute of Management Devas for not only giving me this opportunity, but more importantly, conducting such engaging sessions, such knowledgeable sessions for the students, because these are the sessions that are actually going to help them in their real life career. Now, so thank you very much for taking such initiatives. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to being a part of such an initiative. Thank you so much. Now, and I would like to thank all the students out here, all the academicians who are in this session, because by being in this session on a Saturday morning, you are actually telling us that how serious you are about your career, how serious you are about what you want to do in your future. Because I was told that this session is for majorly human resources people. And when you say human resources, we are talking about people, a small group of people who are going to take care of a bigger group of people throughout their lives. And when you say those people whom you are taking care of, those human resources, their life depends on you, because their salary, their bonuses, their family lives, everything depends on the human resource department. So you have taken a very serious job, and today your presence also tells me how serious you are about this job. So thank you so much for attending. Now, before I start this session, I would like to give you 3 disclaimers. Number 1, I am not an I can't say it properly also. I am not an academician.
Academician.
All right, thank you. So you see, I am not one of them, which means my language will be different than what you are used to in your regular lectures, careers, and your colleges. Okay, so please bear with me about that. I would try to make it as interesting as possible. Number 1. Second disclaimer, whatever I'm going to share today is sheerly based on my 2 years of experience. I have worked in 3 different industries. I have worked with corporates. I have worked with hospitality, the best of the 5-star hotels in India. And I have worked with education industry. And whatever I'm going to share is completely experience-based that happens in the real world. So if it clashes with some theories that you have learned in your books, please pardon me. Okay. But hello, that's what real life is all about. And third, but last but not the least point, I am not used to looking at a camera and speaking like an RJ. So I know that the interaction between both of us would be very minimal. I would request you to choose your tool, your chat box. In between, I will be asking you questions just for your contribution. And I would appreciate if you keep your chat box, your eyes and your ears open, so that you can contribute with whatever points you have in the chat box, number 1. And number 2, it helps me understand that both of us are on the same page. I hope that's okay with everyone. So I'll give you 20 seconds. Open your chat boxes. And the first question that I'm going to ask all of you, would you like this session to be in English, in Hindi, or in English? Tell me.
Yeah, I request all the participants to please respond quickly.
English, very good. I believe there's only one girl who has told me English, okay. All right, coming up. Most of you are telling me English. Okay, we'll go with English. Small Hindi here and there. I hope you're okay with that. Let me start with a story. So there was this village, and there was this lazy rich person in that village. And his name was Subramaniam. I hope there's no Subramaniam here. Please don't feel bad. He was a lazy rich person and was living his life with his wife in a village. One day he finds a chirag, the genie thing, a lamp, a magic lamp. So he gets it home. He doesn't know it's a magic lamp. He just rubs it, and there comes the genie. We all have heard this type of stories in our childhood. So the genie asks him that, I will do all what you say with one condition. He's happy. He's like, okay, tell me a condition. I'll accept it, because I'm a lazy person. I'm a rich person. I need somebody to take care of my world. The genie says, the moment you stop giving me work, I will eat you up. Now, Subramaniam, because he was quite excited, he accepts the challenge. He said, oh yes, the condition accepted. Please start working for me. So he tells him to do some farming work. It is done within half a day. He tells him to take care of his house. It is done within some time. This way, within the whole day, the genie completes all the work that takes normally 1 month. And at the end of the day, the genie is standing out there that give me some more work, otherwise I will eat you up. Now, Subramaniam is quite scared because he has seen the genie's power. He doesn't want to be eaten up, and he doesn't know what to do. He tells his wife. His wife says, okay, just tell him to listen to me. I will give him the work. Okay, daytime he takes your work, nighttime he takes my work, and we'll manage. He says, okay. The last work for the day was, go to my wife, she will give you some work, complete that, and then come back to me. The wife tells him, okay, go to the terrace and start counting the stars. And by morning, you have to ensure that all the stars are counted and accounted for, and you have to give me correct number. As we all know, it's an impossible job. The genie spends entire night counting stars, and he comes morning, the owner comes, Subramaniam comes and says, you know, you are very lazy. You have not completed my wife's work. How can I give you some new work? So this becomes a cycle where entire day Subramaniam takes work for his house, his village's house, his city's house, his king's house, everything. Every work is being taken care of by Subramaniam. He becomes rich, richer and richer. And during night, his wife gives some task to the genie just to ensure that he doesn't eat them up. Now, what's the connection of this story in this particular session? So here, let me tell you the similarities first of all. The rich person, the rich Subramaniam, is nothing but the employer, the owner of the organization. The genie is no one but your human resources. All the people working in the organization without whom the work cannot be done. And do I have to say who's the wife? The wife is definitely the HR department. Okay. So this is what the HR department does. You know, the owner, they all know that if my employees are not kept engaged, okay, they will start working against my organization. They will eat up my organization slowly and slowly. So to keep them engaged in a positive manner, they tell HR, please keep them engaged. Please keep doing something with them. And the HR keeps doing it. The employees are happy, and they keep they keep their energy focused in the positive side. Okay. Just one difference. The only difference is that the work that actually HR gives in terms of employee engagement are not some baseless works like what happened in the story about counting the stars, because these works are meaningful. These activities are meaningful. So let's start with me sharing my screen with you. And a moment. I hope all of you can see my screen.
It's working, sir.
Perfect. So first of all, let's get it clear. What is employee engagement? Very simple definition. You will find a lot of technical definition in the books, but like I said, I work very simply based on my experience and based on the real world. So for me, employee engagement is nothing but the measures that an organization takes to keep its employees interested and excited in the job at the company. Simple. These are the activities that the organization will take to make sure that employees are passionate, they are happy, they are positive, they are interested, they are excited about their job and the company. And why is it important? Because the most important thing is, whenever you are learning something new, always remember, why are you doing it? Okay, the why is the most important aspect of any activity. So, why is important? There can be a long list. Okay, let me see if some of you can give answers in 1 or 2 words. Can you put it in the chat box? Why do you think employee engagement is important?
Yes, please. I request the participants to make use of the chat box option to communicate.
Okay. All right. So I see that either you don't like the session or you're still thinking about what to type. Okay, let me make your life a little easier. Why is employee engagement required? Because simple things. They keep the employees motivated. Okay, we all know that if the employees are motivated, they're happy. It calls for a productive part for the organization. It creates a very positive, healthy environment for the employees. As Dr. Joshi rightly said, it helps talent retention. Your people don't go leaving you. It is imperative for both employee and organizational growth. Remember this. Employee engagement is not done only for employees. It is done so that employees and organizations both can grow together with each other. And also it creates a good team bonding. It goes for an environment where people are connected with each other in a positive environment. Okay, depending on what type of employee engagement activities are you going for. Okay, so any question, anyone, if you have it, you can type it in the chat box. As and when I get some time in between, I will definitely answer your questions. Okay, so feel free to ask questions, because if you don't ask questions, either you are not interested or you are not learning anything. And I'm sure that you don't want to do that. Okay, so next thing comes is, when there are good things spoken about something, there are bad things also spoken about something. So similarly, employee engagement, when you go to the real world in the organization, in the college, in such type of sessions, you will be told employee engagement is a very, 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 very important and positive thing. So you are all charged up. You go to the organization. You say, I will take so and so measures to engage our employees. And then some grumpy boss or some grumpy senior manager will come and tell you something like this. And what is employee engagement? Just to keep them occupied. That's okay. We have enough work. So don't worry. Okay, they will say it is a waste. Accounts department, especially finance and accounts, will say employee engagement, waste of money. There is no return of investment over there. Okay, I'll tell you how you can answer those also. Don't worry. Next is some of your bosses, some grumpy little bosses will tell you that, well, why can't I hire a good manager and manage the employees rather than engaging the employees? So they prefer manage over engage. Okay, don't go for that trap. Some people will say, we already pay them salary. Why employee engagement then? Okay, salary should be enough. We are paying incentives also and bonus also. Then what's the problem? And biggest myth, which you will be always facing, and you have to fight this particular myth, that employee engagement is the responsibility of only HR department. No, it is not. Employee engagement is the responsibility of every person who is leading a team or even a single person. So if you're in an organization and if you want to, if you are taking care of people, employee engagement is for you. It is not only HR's responsibility. Remember that. Okay. So now I'm going to tell you a good bonus for all of you. You must have been told that you will be learning. Let me stop sharing my screen for a moment. Okay, so you must have been told that you will be only learning the best of the strategy that happens in the real world. I'll give you a bonus. I will tell you how to devise that strategy. So the moment you are in HR department, even if you're a fresher, you will be able to do some analysis and devise your own strategies. I'm only going to give you the formula that is going to work. No, so that will give you, and if you start doing this, trust me, you are going to gain the confidence of your bosses, all the employees living in working in the organization, and your owners, like this. Okay, so how do we devise this strategy? Okay, Sumit Panodia has raised a hand. Tell me your question. Yes. Okay. All right, not a problem. So I think he
I
clicked.
think there might be some mistake or
Exactly.
some issue. Yeah.
And I scared him, so he just left the meeting.
No, not at all, sir.
Okay. So whenever you are devising a strategy, you need to first understand the things that you are working for. So in this case, you are working for your employees and you're going to help them in the activities. Okay, the employee engagement activities. So the first thing first, you need to categorize your employees and your activities separately. Have your employees categorized in a particular fashion. I'll tell you how. And have your activities categorized. Now, activities can be categorized in 2 different ways, and you have to do it in both the ways, because that's how you will be devising them smartly. Okay. The first one is, how do you categorize employees? Well, employee categorization is very simple. Okay, for me, in the real world, these are the 8 different types of categories that employees fall under. And if you have a list, if you have your analysis done right on the first day, that okay, whatever employees I have, what industry are they from? Of course, they will be from the industry that you're working in. Okay, but sometimes there are certain industries where you have a mix of different industries. So, for example, if you work for a call center, in a call center, you'll find people from sales background, you'll find people from customer service background, you'll find people from accounts, finance, law. I have even recruited doctors. Trust me, I have even recruited doctors for a call center job. You know, so ensure that you know what type of industry are these people coming from. Number 1. Number 2, what department they are from. You know, accounts, finance, operations, human resources, back office, front of the house. Create as many or as specific categories as possible, but understand what department are they from. Third, what level are they from? Are they freshers, first-time supervisors, first-time middle managers, long-time executives? You need to understand their level, because higher the level, more complex or more interesting has to be the employee engagement activity. You know, a fresher will get happy with simple things also, but when it comes to a higher level executive, he or she will actually get bored because he has seen a lot in the life. So they will be like, yeah, we know that, it's okay. So ensure that you understand the level properly, understand the experience. What experience are they come from? Today, we have executives who are only 3 years in the industry, and we have executives who are 30 years in the industry. So you need to understand their experience as well. Again, another, their socio-economic background. You know, if you need to understand what socio-economic background they come from. You cannot have, for example, in a bank, people who work in a bank, even if they're freshers, they will have a different socio-economic background than people working in a factory, in the production industry. Okay, the socio-economic will be totally different from both of them most of the times. Next comes the age group. Okay, I did not explain that. Next comes the activeness part. How active are those people? This will take some time to understand. You cannot do this segregation on first day. But slowly and slowly, when you start working in an organization, you will understand how people are, what activeness level do they have. Because you can't have an activity where, full of lot of running and lot of cheering and lot of thrill for people who just like to sit and use their brains. You can't have that. They will not participate. So activeness. And last but not the least, loyalty. Now here, let me differentiate between experience and loyalty. Experience is the total number of experience a person has in all the different companies that he has worked in. However, loyalty means the number of experience that person has in your organization. So when you have segregated all your employees into 8 categories. I think somebody has opened the mic.
Yeah, I'm just changing the setting. I have
Okay.
muted also.
That's okay. So once you have categorized all your employees into these 8 categories, you know whom you are dealing with. You know your target audience. Okay, and once you know your target audience, it's very easy to strategize. Very easy. Okay, it's like this. Next comes the activities. Now, let me tell you that, normally when you are not putting a lot of thought in your engagement activities, people do it in a very, very random fashion. And many organizations, like I told you the myth that, employee engagement activity is a waste of money. Because of the wrong strategy of human resources. Because they think एम्प्लॉय एंगेजमेंट है, उसमें क्या है, थोड़ा क्रिकेट खिला देंगे, थोड़ा सा बाहर घुमा देंगे, थोड़ा सा उनको कुछ कैफेटेरिया में उनसे थोड़ा गेम्स करवा देंगे, हो गया एम्प्लॉय एंगेजमेंट एक्टिविटी. No, it does not work that way. If you don't devise the strategy properly, you don't get proper results. If you don't get proper results, whatever time and efforts and money you have input into that particular activity gone waste. And your employers, your bosses, the accounts department, the finance department, they only understand the language of money. And in communication, I'm sure you must have learned this, that you need to speak the language a person understands. So if you are talking about employee engagement activities, you need to speak the same language, you need to speak the language that your person will understand. With the bosses, it has to be a different language. Accounts and finance, it has to be a different language, because they are the ones who are going to approve your employee engagement activities. So how do we do that? First of all, the first way you need to categorize the activities are 5 different categories. Number 1, purpose. That's the most important one. What is your purpose of doing this activity? Is it that people are quite stressed, so you want to have some fun and give them some relaxation? Is it that there is a skill issue in the company and you need some learning and development thing for the people to be done? Or is it that you want to have your company's name to be popular? Yes, you can also use employee engagement activities for your company branding purpose. I'll tell you how. Okay. So first and most important thing is purpose. Why are you doing? Like I said before, why is the most important aspect before you start any activity. So first thing first, purpose. Next comes, of course, the budget. Now, the biggest myth is, for example, we used to be, when I was working with a sales company, it was a UK-based telecom company. We were told to motivate the sales team. Now, sales team normally gets motivated only with one thing. What? Money, incentives, bonus. And there were times when the budgets were not that easy to get. There were budget constraints. So what? No money, no motivation, no money, no engagement? No. There are engagement activities, there are employee engagement activities that can be done with no money, low money, good money. It all depends on your thought process, your smartness. But budget is one of the most important aspects. Lower the budget and higher the impact, you are the hero of your boss and your organization. Okay, we'll come to that. Next, timing intervals. So you can't keep doing your employee engagement activities throughout the year. No, you have to ensure that these things have to take place at regular intervals. So remember, there are certain activities that can be done daily, certain activities weekly, certain monthly, certain quarterly, certain bi-monthly, bi-yearly, biannual, and certain activities are done only on an annual basis. It all depends on which one is required. A classic example, if you have an award function for your organization, now R&R can happen every month, but an award function with a lot of dance, drama, big budget, everything like that can happen only once in a year. It cannot happen every month or every quarter, right? So timing interval is another thing that you need to think of about when you're thinking about an employee engagement activity. Okay. Any questions so far? You can type.
Yes, if anybody wants to have any query, any doubt, any clarification, please feel free, comfortable. Make it an interactive session, students.
Okay. Not a problem. If you have any question, you can type on the go. Whenever I take a pause between two slides or two topics, I will definitely answer those. But trust me, guys, your college has given you a very golden opportunity of being in such a learning space. Make the best of it. Okay, Utkarsh Bane has a question: how to conduct an employee engagement? Utkarsh, this entire session is all about that. So you will answer. I'll answer this question at the end of the session, because by that time you will not have this question. I hope so. Okay, but thank you for asking that question, Utkarsh. Right now we are in the strategizing stage, the planning stage, remember. Okay, the next thing that you want to understand, categorize, is the impact of the employee engagement activity. How impactful do you want that activity to be? Whether there has to be a 360-degree change, whether it has to be a bit of relaxation, that's okay. For example, people plan daily employee engagement activities or weekly activities for small impacts in the longer run. And the activities that happen once in a year or once in 6 months, they actually happen, they have the maximum impact, because after that day, employees are really charged up. Okay. Garima, I'll come to your question. Don't worry. Sustainability, the last but not the least. Okay, most important, the activity that you're planning is a one-time affair, or whether you can keep repeating it after a particular interval. Because, friends, when you do a one-off activity, if it is bad, actually it is good. But if it is good, you are finished. Imagine, I'll give you an example. Let's say if you have a one-time activity that, okay, let's take all the employees for a movie. Now, you take all the employees for a movie, and it was like, everything was managed properly, no problem, no fights, no issues. Everybody said, yeah, it was fine, we enjoyed it. But deep inside, they were like, okay, that was okay, we did not enjoy it that much. But to HR, they said, yes, everything is fine. Now, actually, this engagement activity did not do well, actually. So what will happen is, If you don't do it next time, it's good. But if it was good and people enjoyed, people had a blast in the theater, and we have done this. We have taken our employees for movies and for picnics, everything. But let's say if they did not enjoy it, if they enjoyed it and it does not happen again, they will start missing it. They will start living in the past. They will start not looking in a good way to all the other activities, or they will start comparing. Arey, this cafeteria activity is good, but that theater one was awesome. So you see, if you can't sustain the activity, do not do it. Otherwise, it will have a reverse effect. I hope you understand that. So always ensure that activity has to be sustainable. If you want to do it, you can do it again. Okay. Again, it depends on whether the feedback, but if you want to do it, you can do it again. Sustainability is a key to any strategy. Remember that. Okay, now before I move on to the next category, I will answer Garima's question. Some companies sponsor holiday visit for their employees. Is this also come under employee engagement? Yes, Garima, definitely it comes under employee engagement. Definitely. And that was a part of my next topic. So now that you've understood that these are the 5 main categories that employee engagement activities fall under. The purpose, why are you doing it? Budget, how much money can you afford? How often can you do it? What is the impact? And whether that activity is sustainable or not. Okay, so these 5 are questions. Once you have answered, you will be able to choose the right employee engagement activity. Now, coming to the broader part of employee engagement activity, which is what are the different types of employee engagement activities that work in the real world. Okay, so these are the 5 things. Again, I have categorized them, okay, into 5 different categories because each category will cater to a different purpose, will have a different budget, will have a different impact. You know? And let me tell you that whatever activities you see in this list, these are just some examples. Because if I tell you employee engagement is one place where you can go as creative as Picasso. You can have as many activities planned depending on what budget, what purpose, and all the questions that I gave you before. Okay, and depending, of course, depending on which organization are you working for. Some organizations, they give you a free hand because they only care about their employees. Some organizations will always keep holding you back because they care about profitability. Okay, but trust me, your employees are more important because they bring the profitability. Okay, so first thing first comes, one more thing. The activities that you see out here can be part of 2 different categories also. Okay, so for example, first thing first, let's take the most loved activity in the organization, which is the fun activity. Okay, fun activities can be extracurricular activities. It can be a simple game that you play in your cafeteria. It can be a simple lottery system that you have in your meal time, in your lunch time. I'll give you a very creative way of this extracurricular activity. When I was working for a company called Aditya Birla Group, it was for an American bank, and we were told, so it was a very frustrating job, very frustrating job, because we were into telesales. I was handling a team who was doing telesales in US, sitting in India. Okay, and it was one of the most difficult product. So the employees, the telecallers, the associates, the grassroots level staff, they were under huge pressure. Because imagine you speaking to 50 to 70 people trying to make a sale, and all those people telling you shut up and get lost, shut up and get lost. And when you don't make the sale, your boss also telling you many a times, shut up and get lost, which means out of the organization. So people were very frustrated. Now, how do we take care of this frustration? I'll tell you the innovative way they did in terms of extracurricular activity. In the far right side corner of the huge hall that we had, they tied a punching bag. And along with that punching bag, right next to the punching bag, they gave a printer option. There was a printer kept, which was connected to every single computer on the floor. So whenever you're frustrated, you can either just print a cartoon and name that cartoon as a customer's name who you think about, because you can't speak back to the customer. So just take that name. You can even have all the bosses of that organization, their photos were also given in the computer. Imagine that's the employee engagement activity. That you can simply take a printout of any boss that you think. The printer is there, nobody's there to look. Go there, take the photograph, put it on the punching bag, take a good 10 minutes break, keep punching that bag as much as you want, remove all the frustration, take the paper, put it in the shredder, into pieces, relax your mind, come back, start doing your work again. Classic example of creative employee extracurricular activity. Okay, it was fun. Trust me, it was real fun. Because I'll tell you, the fun part was that although we could not see who is hitting which boss or who is hitting which customer, the printer was connected to IT department. And IT department can bring the list of the file, the name of the file, which was typed the most. So this way, the IT department and the HR department can find out which supervisor or boss is the most unpopular on the floor. Okay, they don't know who is who's hitting them, but they can tell which boss is not good. So you see, that's a creative way of extracurricular activities. Isn't it fun? Then team outings, like Garima asked. So this can happen once in 6 months or once in a year. When I was working for Citigroup, we used to be given a budget where we can take our team members of 30, 40 people every month for a dinner or lunch on the weekend time. So the team outing can be just a lunch or dinner that can happen monthly basis, or it can be more extravagant, 1 week, or it can be in a quarterly basis. So you can go for a 1 day outing, or it can be also 2 to 3 days of vacation. Okay. Also, outings are also given as bonuses, not only team engagement activities, it is also given as bonuses. Okay, so for example, if your team achieves this particular target, you have a full paid holiday of 2 days or 1 day in a particular resort. You can take your team over there. This is also a type of team outings. Cultural activities, we all know this. Every Diwali, Holi, you must have seen a lot of organizations tell people to come dressed up with a theme. That's all cultural activities. We have surprise challenges. Surprise challenges. So, for example, one day a particular boss, general manager of the organization, he's a young chap. He walks in and everybody's trying to make sales on calls. And he tells them, why are people so dull? Why are you not energetic and trying to do your work with full energy? Everybody said, sir, kya farak padta hai? We have 8 hours. 8 घंटे में हम target achieve कर लेंगे. Don't worry. So this guy thought of a surprise challenge. He said, do one thing. What's your target? They said, so 3 sales in 8 hours. Okay. Do 4 sales per person, average, which means that if there are 10 people working, 40 sales from that team. If you complete 40 sales, even in 2 hours, take the rest of the day off. Go home. And let's say if you complete 5 sales per person, average in the team, I will sponsor a movie for you right after the last sale has been hit. Now remember, this surprise challenge was not thrown by HR department. This was thrown by the general manager of the organization. He had that power and he took that challenge. People were excited. You should have seen the team. They were so excited. They just went with their headsets completely into their calls. No loo breaks, no tea break, no coffee break. Within 4 hours, they achieved the target enough to get them to a movie theater. Earlier, they were working only for 3 sales in 8 hours. Now, they achieved 5 sales per person in 4 hours and they enjoyed a movie. Surprise challenge. Okay. Another thing which requires a little bit of budget, a game room in fun activities. So most of the organizations nowadays have a game room where you can go play indoor games. If you can go for that, well and good. And last, random act of fun. Something like surprise challenge, but this time it's not a challenge, it's just fun. You don't have to do anything. No targets, no achievements, nothing. You just go tell a joke, sing a song. Somebody will come and give you a surprise gift. Random act of fun. Okay, so these things, and like I said, that this is just a small list. You can go wild with this particular list in terms of fun activities. Okay, this is one area where you can think as creative as possible. And the more creative you are, the more you are loved by people. Okay. Next, employee development activities. They are also a part of employee engagement. This particular sector is mostly loved by senior officials, senior people, and HR. It is not very popular with everybody, but with very selective people. Okay. So, learning and development, I don't have to tell you that. What we are doing right now here is a learning and development activity. So out here, we are a live example of employee development. Here we are talking about student development. Succession planning, who will be the next boss? So people are selected based on their qualities, and even before they are promoted, there are activities like, okay, for 1 week, you will handle this team. You're not the supervisor yet. You're not a manager yet. But you're given a team for 1 week or 1 day, and you have to prove yourself. It's an employee engagement activity. Succession planning. Okay. Next comes healthy lifestyle initiative. Now, I am a big lover of this one. Healthy lifestyle initiatives. We all know nowadays, the way things are going, health has become one of the most important aspects of every organization. So for healthy lifestyle initiatives, there are various things, like you can have a gym room, you can have a gymnasium in the organization. We had that one. Okay, we used to have free gymnasium in our company. I've worked with such companies. I was working for Radisson Blu Hotel Indore. In Radisson Blu, since I was the head of department, all the head of the departments and general manager can use the same gymnasium that is used by all the guests who pay 15,000, 10,000 for, even for 1 day, they paid 1,500, 2,000 rupees. That type of environment, we being a head of the, because such type of places cannot be open for everyone. So it was at least open for the head of the departments, so they can use it, keep themselves fit, and take care of the hotel in a better way. So gymnasium is one. In between, people, many organizations have meditation classes, yoga classes, karate classes. I have even attended dance classes inside an organization during my working hours, because that was an engagement activity. You can enroll, no money to be paid, just enjoy and keep yourself fit. Okay. And this was before pandemic. Now, after pandemic, I'll tell you one of the most innovative thing. I'm a part of it also. There's an international app called Task Human. Okay, I'm a member of it. Task Human, what it does is it collaborates with different organizations on international level. And in this place, you have coaches. You have coaches who are from different backgrounds, like mental wellness, psychologists, psychiatrists, life coach, success coach, counselors, yoga instructors, gym instructors. You can directly speak to them sitting at home. And this type of coaching is given one-on-one, which means you don't have to be part of a group. It is the best thing to be done for people working from home. So this is what is happening on a global level, where just to take care of their mental wellness, because of COVID, because of a lot of issues going on in the world, just to keep their employees calm, focused, and happy. Organizations are tying up with such applications, such organizations who can reach their employees on their mobile phone at their inside the bedroom of their houses. That's the power of employee development, healthy lifestyle initiatives. Higher education opportunities. Okay, I was working for SEDE Group. They had a tie-up with NMIMS. They had a tie-up with NMIMS, and if you want to do a higher degree course with, we will be able to do it at 25%, 30%, 40% discount, and while working in the organization, and we will get all the leaves and holidays to give the examination or take care participation in those educational activities. So higher education opportunities, mentor programs. Now, the most interesting part, which you will not see, is company branding. Like I said, employee engagement activities can be used for company branding. For example, I'm sure all of you must have heard of CSR activities, corporate social responsibility. Yes, so corporate social responsibility not only enables you to help the needy people, but it also creates a brand name in the market. Because the more people you help, the better name you have in the market, the more your consumers get connected with you. Okay, so many companies do corporate social responsibility in terms of employee engagement. Because who is doing these activities? The employees are going and they are doing these activities. When I was working for Radisson Blu, because all of you are from Indore, so I think you will be able to connect with this. In Devguradia, near Devguradia, there's a big slum area, a small village full of a lot of poor people who are not very well to do. And Radisson Blu had adopted that particular area. And once in a month or 2 months, our team of people used to go there, engage with those kids, with the elderlies. Our engineering team used to go and take care of their schools, okay, their water connections, their electricity problems. So the 5-star hotel team used to take care of this village end to end. And not only this, whatever discarded uniforms we have with Radisson used to be distributed along with these people. So it was creating a brand name for Radisson Blu on an international level. Maybe Indori people did not know about it, but trust me, Radisson Blu ensured that at an international level, everybody knows that, okay, this is the initiative that we are taking. Environmental activities, Earth Day, and so we have Green Day, Earth Day. This type of environmental activities, sometimes planting trees, going for cycling, okay, or switching off all the lights for some time so that we can take care of save some electricity and some energy. National international event days, we all know about this. Interesting positions. There are companies nowadays who have a happiness manager. His job is nothing, just roam around spreading happiness. He sees a sad person, he will sit with that person. He will take him for the tea or coffee. Okay, sports activities, a part of company branding. Most of the outdoor games that happens, a cricket match between two companies, sports activity. Because you will see a big brands and people wearing a t-shirt of the company. It's a branding. Corporate gifting is also under employee engagement activities. In Diwali, many employees are not given bonus. They are given a nicely packed corporate gift so that they can take it home, not only show it to their family, but also to their neighbors, to their relatives. Okay, all this type of places. And so many different people come to know about that one company because of their employees. Family days, functions, you get people, okay, get your family to the company. Get your family in the particular function which is organized by the company. We used to do that once in a year at Radisson Blue, okay, where every employee, doesn't matter what level of that employee is, all the family members of every employee, right from general manager to the lowermost rung person, everybody will be there, enjoying together. Okay, so that's again company branding. Okay, then there are certain employee engagement activities that actually are done for the development of the company, but with the help of employees, like strategizing meet. Have some employees from different levels, make them sit together, and they will devise the company policy. They will devise how are we going to come out of this particular area or out of this problem, or how are we going to achieve this target. So not necessary that the only, because we have to achieve a target of, let's say, sales. So if we have to achieve a target of sales, not necessary that sales has to be only involved. Get customer service, get accounts, get a security guy, some people from security team. Let all of them sit together and they will decide what is going to be the strategy further. Okay, problem solving meet, policy formation meet, team house or team or house wise competition. This is how normally schools and colleges do. Remember when you were in school, some schools do this: red house, green house, yellow house. You know, so you have different names for different people, and every class will have every student. Right, all the 4 houses will be represented in every class. This happens in organization also. Finally, we come to the last part, which is the rewards, and not last part of this session. We are talking about rewards and recognition. Now, rewards and recognition, like I said, sometimes it requires money, sometimes it doesn't. So, for example, biannual award functions, they require a lot of budget. Okay, lunch or dinner with higher officials. We used to do that in many companies where if you are a good performer, if you are one of the dedicated employees, okay, once in a week or once in a month, the general manager or the director of the company will go for lunch, and all these employees from all the departments will be put together, and they will be having lunch and direct conversation with the director or the general manager. And they can speak very freely. It is not that, because he's the general manager, nahi chupchap baitho, man, sir ke samne kuch bolna nahi. No, open environment. Okay. Weekly or monthly certifications, that takes the least amount of money, guys. Printing one certificate, least amount of money, but makes a big difference to an employee. Okay. Next is surprise rewards. Sometimes you just, I remember there was, I did not achieve anything, but I was in a telecom company for UK. So I remember the gentleman name, his name was Kerry Howells. So Kerry came from UK, and there was a big rewards and recognition kept, and he distributed rewards that were assigned for every winner, and he was like very happy. And then he said, "Where is Abby?" So he called me Abby because of my long name. So he's like, "Where's Abby?" And I was like, "Yes, Kerry, how can I help you?" "Hey, I know that you have been working really hard. I can see from UK that you have achieved so and so thing. So what that you're not a winner? I got this for you." And he got a surprise gift for me. It was Nokia's, that time Nokia was very popular. So it was Nokia's latest handset that was not available in India. It was only available in UK. So I was the first person in India to get that handset because it was a surprise reward for me for my hard work and dedication. But imagine, from next day onwards, I started working even more smartly and dedicatedly because that one phone had that type of impact in my mind. And last but not the least, the incentives, the money part. Or it just cannot be money. There are companies who also give goods. Okay, I have won television, I have won video games, Xboxes, all those type of things. in my previous organizations where I was working with international, multinational companies and things like that. So this is the broad category of what type of activities can be planned for employee engagement. And I would like to tell out here that each one of this is planned in a very, very different way. Now that definitely I cannot tell you in a 1 hour session. Okay, so I believe the question that was asked to me by it was asked by Mr. Bane, I believe. Utkarsh Bane, yes. So Utkarsh, I can only tell you this much, because the detail about how do you plan each one of this, well, you can go as creative as possible. Okay, but this is what you need to plan if you want to go for good employment engagement strategies. So any questions so far? Because we have completed almost 75% of our presentation. So any questions? I'm reading your chat right now. So any question, please feel free. Okay. I'm sorry for that particular noise. Okay. So since you don't have any question, I'll move to the next part. Due to pandemic, we have a new category of employment engagement activity, which is work from home. Okay. And again, this can be very creative, because you know that your employees, many times your employees cannot come back to the office. And I'm sure that now you must have heard that there are many employees who want to leave the job if they are told to come back to office. Okay. So here we have some activities for them also. For example, social media activities, where you can go creative with your posts, and post it on your social media. We can have a competition, like a singing competition. So whichever team has the best singer in their team can compete. You just have to sing a song and put it on the social media. So you see, company is not only engaging you, they're also making you popular. Okay, video making. So if you can know, I think many actors had done this before when pandemic just started, where those many actors, they shot a video in their own home, and then somebody collaborated, collated all those videos, made one single video, and that was broadcasted on the national television. Story posting, family webinar, because we know that because of work from home, people who suffer the most are our family members. So let's have a family webinar where they can also come on the conference, on the webinar, and they can share their experiences. Lottery system, online gaming. Now, gamification is the next employee engagement thing that you need to learn. Start focusing on gamification and app games right from now, friends, because in future, you will be putting a lot of learning and development activities, a lot of trainings, a lot of fun activities on the games, on the apps, and people will learn, people will engage by just participating on those games on their mobiles. So online games, app games, gamification is the next best thing of employee engagement activities. Start working on it right now. It's not very popular right now, but in near future, that is going to be really, really, really popular. Okay. And last but not the least, an online employee experience platform, where you can go on that platform. Okay. It comprises of a lot of things. Like I said, again, go creative. Okay. Utkarsh, I really love you, because my next topic is about your same question. Why it is important to measure employment engagement. I'll tell you, give me a moment. Employee experience platform can comprise of simple things, can comprise of fun activities, everything apart from team outing, except for team outing. Whatever we discussed can be put on an employee experience platform online. And there can be an intranet. You know, as internet is for everybody in the world, intranet is for everybody within an organization. So everybody in that organization can go on that intranet and share or experience what their company wants them to experience or share online, right? Sitting at their homes. Okay, so this is the new generation of employee engagement activities, especially after COVID-19. Okay, so I was going to, after this particular slide, I was going to ask any question, but Utkarsh has already asked a question, so I will go directly to it. I'll come to this later. First, let me answer Utkarsh's question. Why it is important to measure employment engagement. Remember, in the beginning, I told you that you need to speak the language a person understands. If you are speaking to the boss of the company, you will speak about profitability, productivity. If you're speaking to, let's say, finance or accounts, you are talking about sick leave records, because that's also money wasted. If you're talking to your HR manager or your HR director, you need to talk about suggestions and feedbacks, number of qualifiers for promotion, employee retention data. So you see, when you measure the impact, why is it important? Because you know which direction your engagement activity went into. Did it go down the south, or did it go up north? Did you get benefited, or was it a waste of your time and efforts and money? And next time you have to think more smartly. That's why measuring the impact is very, 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 very important. You cannot simply have an employee engagement activity and say, हाँ सब लोग कितने खुश दिख रहे थे ना, अपना जीवन सफल हो गया. You can't talk like that. Once the activity is over, there are certain ways that you can decide whether your activity was successful or not, because everything is about data. Business is all about data. You cannot tell your general manager that, yes, we achieved our target because all the employees were happy and smiling. No. So if you want to give proper answers about your employee engagement activity, if you want to actually go ahead and make sure that your employee engagement activity was success, and how can you do better next time, you need to measure the impact. The easiest measure is whether whatever purpose you had in mind is fulfilled or not. That's the easiest way. But how do we capture it? First, profitability, whether the business has gone up or not. Surveys. Many times, so for example, fun activities. The fun activities do not have a profitability criteria to be measured. So we can have an employee survey once in a week or once in a month and ask them, how do you feel working with us? You can't tell them, oh, did you like that activity which we did? No, that's not how surveys take place. Surveys take place after few activities. If you ask them, are you happy? How long do you plan to stay in the organization? Will you, on a rating of 1 to 10, how much is the rating that you will recommend one of your best friends to come into this organization and work for us? These are the types of questions you have to ask survey. Indirect questions telling you answers about what you did. Suggestions and feedback. So surveys happen when the HR wants them to happen. But suggestions and feedback, we have a complaint box, we have a suggestion box, we have a feedback box, standing or sitting right in the cafeteria. Anybody can come right anytime and put it in there. 24 by 7, it's there. So suggestions and feedbacks. Suggestions and feedbacks can also be taken in briefings, meetings, annual meetings, monthly meetings. Sick leave records. If your employees are happy and healthy, they will not fall sick, which also speaks a lot about many of your employee engagement activities. Okay, number of qualifiers for promotion. So last year we had the manager's IJP, internal job promotion, So last year we had a manager, 5 people qualified. This year we have 8 people qualified. Next year we have 12 people qualified. This tells that your employee engagement activities are working good. Employee retention data. How many employees are leaving you and going? Productivity. Whether whatever you're doing is increasing or not, the value of it is increasing or not. Profitability is different, but productivity is also important. So in productivity, all these are the key measures of measuring the impact of your employee engagement activities. And they're equally important, guys, because after the activity is over, and next time when you want to do an activity, between those 2 times, you need to show your bosses that, boss, I am I am doing value addition to my job by doing this work. And whatever I'm doing, employees are happy. It is getting business for us. It is getting production for us, profitability for us. And you should be thankful. Next time I approach you with an employee engagement activity, approve it. You don't have to patawafy your boss to have that approved. Okay. Now that I've answered Utkarsh, I hope Utkarsh, your question is answered. Garima, I'll come to your question later. Give me some time. Before now, when you're conducting the employee engagement activities, before and during the employee engagement activities, there are certain things that you need to keep in mind. Okay. So, for example, never force your employees to participate. नहीं हमने क्रिकेट मैच रखा है चलो 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 no, you should encourage them but never force them, because if you force the employees into an employee engagement activity, it actually destroys the purpose. Okay, it will have a ulta result. So never force, always encourage. Branding is best done with volunteering. So when you are conducting some sessions like company branding, like even when you talk about organizational development, make sure that people volunteer for that activity. You don't choose. Okay, you come, because many a times we choose people who are not interested, and that again destroys the purpose. So branding is best done with volunteering. Okay, let them come on their own. Don't even encourage. See who wants to come. Okay. Accountability is more important. In organizations, they are always focused on responsibility. But in employee engagement activity, accountability is more important. Okay. You need to own that particular activity. Fun activities need very close monitoring. Trust me, fun activities are fun for the employees, but it's a big headache for HR. You still have to do it. Okay. I'll tell you, when we used to conduct sports activities, in a cricket match, people were almost there fighting with each other. And then the HR person who is conducting the activity has to actually settle them down, shut them down. And instead of having a teamwork, it becomes a competitive thing where they're actually into fight with each other. In a way, it's good because it removes the frustration. But again, like I said, that it has to be monitored very closely, because you don't want people bleeding or having a broken head or hand in a cricket match conducted by the HR. No, it's a big problem. Be very, very proactive. Don't wait for something to happen to conduct the employee engagement activity. Employee engagement activity is always a proactive thing, not a reactive thing. Remember that. Okay. Last 2 points, most importantly, R&R must always be output based. Okay, only because somebody is working with the organization for 10, 15 years, don't give that certificate. It should not be input based. It should be output based. What results are you generating? Yes, you can keep 10 to 15% of your R&R for input based, but very little part. Keep the 80 to 90% of your R&R for output based programs. See the results and only then reward the person. It doesn't have to do with seniority, junior, and all those type of things. And last but not the least, work-life integration is the new thing. I don't know how many of you have heard this term, work-life integration. Earlier, we used to talk a lot about work-life balance. So, work-life balance is like a seesaw. Sometimes the work is down, life is up. Sometimes the life is down, work is up. But after pandemic and many people working from home, it's work-life integration. It has to go hand in hand together. So when you are planning this type of activities, focus on work-life integration rather than work-life balance. Okay. Any questions, guys? Because we are now moving to the last part of this particular program. So any questions so far? Garima, I still have your question, I know. I'll come to that. No questions? Okay. Guys, last but not the least, I spoke about this again and again and again and again and again. Creativity and innovation. Remember one thing, guys, that only because something is working fine doesn't mean that you stick to it throughout your life. Because there's a saying in English, every hero becomes a bore at last. You cannot laugh on the same joke again and again and again and again and again, however hilarious it is. You can cry on the same thing again and again, but you cannot laugh on same thing again and again. You remember that. So doesn't matter, even if some strategies are working really good, still it's okay. It's okay. You still have to be creative, you still have to be innovative, and you still have to keep working on new strategies of employee engagement. Because like I said, that one day your strategy will become a bore and you need to be proactive to understand this. So don't get stuck to one strategy. Keep creating, keep innovating. Okay, because people will keep changing, generations will keep changing, age group will keep changing, and the market, the environment, the social environment will keep changing. So remember one thing, be creative, be innovative. Okay. That gets me to the end of our session. I will answer Garima's question. Disadvantages of employee engagement. Now, Garima, the only disadvantage of an employee engagement is when it is not strategized and conducted properly. If you make a mistake in conducting, if there's a mismanagement in conducting the employee engagement activity, that's the only time when you will have a disadvantage, where your purpose will not be met. In fact, it might even backfire. So otherwise, employee engagement activities absolutely have zero disadvantage unless you goof it up. Okay. And I think Garima has one more question. What happens if there are no engagement activities in a company? Wow. Think about this, Garima. You are in your bedroom on your laptop, and you have been there's a teacher whom you love, and that teacher is teaching you something that you love, your favorite subject. Even with your most favorite subject, how long can you be in that room on that laptop with your favorite teacher? 1 hour, 2 hour, 1 day, 2 day, 1 week, maximum 1 month. You love pizza. Let's say your favorite dish is pizza. And how many times can you eat your favorite food, pizza? Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Next day breakfast, lunch, dinner. Next day breakfast, lunch, dinner. No. After 4 or 5 days of breakfast, lunch, and dinner of pizza, you will say, I'm sick of it. I will never touch pizza in my entire life. So your most favorite thing turned into the biggest turn off for you, only because it was being kept repeatedly. Same thing happens if you don't have an employee engagement activity in a company. Life gets monotonous, life gets boring, you are stuck with the same thing. Okay? And one day you even first of the job that you love the most, within 6 months of no employment engagement activities, you will be searching for a new job. And best part, if I ask you, why do you want a new job? You do not have an answer. पता नहीं सर, पहले जैसा मजा नहीं आ रहा है, पहले जैसा मजा नहीं आ रहा है. Nothing is like before. Okay, things have not changed in terms of job. It is changed in terms of your mindset, because you're bored to death doing the same thing again and again. So this is what will happen if you don't have employment engagement activities in a company. I hope I answered your question, Garima. So that gets me to the end of this session. Okay, my contact details are here. It is also available with Anjali ma'am, so you can take that if you want to get connected with me. I'm also there on social media with Prosper with Abhi as my name. Yes, ma'am. It's over to you now.
Okay. I must say it was really a wonderful session, and I completely disagree with the statement, sir, that you stated in the beginning that you are not a hardcore academician. But the way you explained, the way you carried out the session was really very engaging and very informative, sir. So hats off to you for such a great learning. And there are so many new things which we as a teachers also have learned from you. So we are really thankful for such a great insight from your side.
Thank you.
And now I would like to invite, as our research, this national seminar was in association with the Research Foundation of India. So first of all, I would like to invite Ajay Jain sir from RFI to please address and say thank you note from our side. So Ajay Jain sir. Ajay Jain sir, I have made you a co-host. Ajay Jain sir, can you hear me? I think might be some technical issue at his end. So I extremely sorry for that. Now I would like to invite.
Namaskar, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So please.
Sorry. Some network issue.
No.
So it's a wonder. It was wonderful program workshop. So thank you all speakers, all 3 days. Thank you so much. Thank you team, PIMD Prestige Institute Devas, अंजलि मैम, अजीत सर, सभी पूरी टीम को मेरी तरफ से और रिसर्च फाउंडेशन ऑफ इंडिया की तरफ से थैंक यू सो मच. थैंक यू सर. अभिजीत सर, थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite our respected director, Dr. Professor Ajit Upadhyay, sir, to please share some words of wisdom. Sir, please unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you, Anjali ma'am. Though I was busy with other assignments, but I keep, very cautiously listening to sir. Honorable, respected Abhishek sir, you are, such a practitioner that we need to incorporate more and more techniques and methods how to get employee engaged. And this is also a honors to us and as a director and the all head of the department and senior faculty, how we can get engaged to the purpose for which we are being made here, faculty over here. In the last 3 days, it has been very wonderful. Research Foundation of India and their associate, Honorable Ajay Ji Jain, Honorable Saurabh Jain sir, Honorable Manish Dubey sir, and Honorable Dr. Gunjan Shukla, and Honorable Gupta sir, Ashok Ji Gupta sir. They all have associated with us. We want to further, not only extend but also consolidate this association so that we could bring the best to the not only academic fraternity but also the some business men or the practitioners who want to join these type of the workshops. In a very first day, I could notice that the topic which was taken by the our HR department team Um, and especially Anjali ma'am and Neelam ma'am about the recruitment as a career job was very pertinent. And I think that the people who do not get selected into the companies may have a very different orientation because the time is changing. The pandemic has taught us many lessons which were not given in the books, and we need to rewrite our books. That when these type of the scarcity, the conditions in a life comes, how we have to come and take up those challenges and provide a solution. Second day, we had after Dinesh Nigam sir, Kanun Go sir, who talk about the digital education, and that is, I think, very pertinent. And he actually drew the attentions to the very, the important point which we observe, but we do not pay heed to them. So we all enjoyed the session, and today it was again exceptionally very good session by respected Abhishek sir, because engagement may have different dimensions, but you rightly covered all the variables which definitely we need to take into account while practicing the employee engagement practices. For example, that if we are not very clear about the objective, mission, and vision, not only for the organization but also in our personal life, and if we cannot actually collaborate or correlate, we can say immerse those topics into one, then definitely we cannot get engaged. And fun has got some place, but fun is not everything. We may have some budgetary problem, but actually the intention and the intent is very important in organizations. If our efforts are very honest, then definitely we can make a change. And I'm also very happy and lucky that we have a very good team of faculty at PIMD, and equally the right support we receive from the Research Foundation of India. And I believe that Abhishek sir, like you and all your colleagues and the friends, you will also contribute to the development of to all of us, not only to the faculty but also to me and my docile students, those who are attending over here. And at last, I would express, uh, my personal thanks to the head of the department, Dr. Ashima Joshi ma'am. So she is also quite busy with other assignments other than the faculty job. She also found time here to motivate their department, and our deputy director, Dr. Abhishek Ji Tripathi, and the other senior colleagues who really have done a good job. And I believe that these 3 days are experimentation. As I told to Anjali ma'am, this is experimentation after pandemic, and we are receiving good supports. There is always scope of improvement. And in next time, I think Abhishek sir, you will get more questions and a more audience here, the online participants who would be not only keeping their video on but also will posing you with some pertinent questions. And today I'm happy that some of the students has also raised a very good questions. At their level, it is very difficult to think that way. Yeah, I think I was not that much mature. The question, the way they are asking at the collegiate level. Today, we are fortunate that we get this type of the environment. In future, I'll request not only to these speaker but also Anjali ma'am, that you also connect to the all these three eminent speakers, and if we could bring them at industry institute interface, and they could interact with our students in physical mode, and we could have some these exercises this sir also guided us. If we could sir practice, then that will add up. And our faculty members are very research oriented at Prestige, so they will take up this to the further development of these type of the exercises and cases, which could also help, I believe, to the industry as well. So thanks indeed the all wonderful team, your coordinated efforts, our students. And if something went wrong or upon any point, so I take this on my shoulders and I apologize on behalf of the Prestige team. Thanks indeed, sir. We think that we would be meeting soon again with you all speakers. Thanks indeed. Thanks, Anjali ma'am. Thanks, Ashima ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. And as sir rightly said, Abhishek sir, that we really want to have you in a physical mode as well. And while reading your profile, you are a NLP practitioner also. So we really would like to have an exposure in this area as well. So maybe some other time in physical mode, we would like to have you here in our institute, and we get benefit from what knowledge, ocean of knowledge that you possess, sir. So that was really wonderful. And I personally it's really beneficial to attend your session because my research project is going in the field of happiness and employee engagement only. So that is really going to contribute. And I would like to connect with you to get some more insight that can be helpful for my research work as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm always there.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request the joint coordinator for our National HR seminar, Professor Neelam Naik, ma'am, to please present a vote of thanks. Neelam, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Anjali ma'am. A very good afternoon to all. I, Neelam Naik, on behalf of Prestige Institute of Management Devas, would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest, Mr. Abhishek Mishra, sir, Chief Facilitator and the Consultant Vision of Wizard. Your knowledge on best talent engagement strategies in the real world have truly inspired us. I thank Research Foundation also, and I thank our respected director, sir, Ajit Upadhyay, sir, Deputy Director, sir, Abhishek Tripathi, sir, and all the HODs for always supporting and guiding us. Our faculty members and fellow students who have made this seminar a memorable one. Finally, I would like to thank all of you present here for making the time to be with us today and helping us and make this event a great success. Thank you one and all again.
Thank you, Neelam, ma'am. And once again, sir, we want to say thanks from the bottom of our heart for such a wonderful session and making our first National HR seminar a success. So it is all because of everybody's contribution. And thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I wish you many more to come.
Sure, definitely, sir. We'll have a long journey to go. So once again, thank you and have a good day.
You too. Thank you.